Hello everyone. In today's class, we will see the topic limits, continuity and differentiability. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and the owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So let's start with the topics we will discuss in this lecture. We will first see the limits. What is limits? After that, we will move to the fundamental theorems on the limits. After that, we will move to the important results on limit and methods to evaluate the limits. After that, we will move to the continuity of a function at a point, continuity of a function at an interval, results on continuous function. After that, we will move to the differentiability and we will discuss the differentiability of a function at a point and results on differentiability. So let's move to our topic limits. Let y is equal to fx be a function of x. If the value of fx tend to a definite number of x, definite number as x tend to a, then the number so obtained is called limit of fx at x equal to a, and we write it as limit x tending to a fx. If fx approaches to L1 as x approaches to a from left, then L1 is called the left hand limit of fx at x equal to a, and symbolically we write it as f of a minus 0 or limit extending to a minus fx or limit h tending to 0 f of a minus h. Similarly, right hand limit can be expressed as f of a plus 0 or limit extending to a plus fx or limit h tending to 0 f of a plus h. Limit extending to a fx exists if and only if limit extending to a minus fx and limit extending to a plus fx exists and equal, right? Now let's move to the fundamental theorems on limits. If limit extending to a fx is equal to L and limit extending to a gx is equal to m, where L and m are real numbers, then first limit extending to a fx plus gx is L plus m, which is called sum rule. Next is limit extending to fx minus gx is L minus m, which is difference rule. Third is limit extending to a fx into gx is equal to L into m, which is called product rule. Fourth is limit extending to a k into fx is equal to k into L, constant multiple rule, right? Next is limit extending to a fx upon gx is equal to L upon m and m not equal to 0, which is called quotient rule. If limit extending to a fx is equal to plus infinity to minus infinity, then limit extending to a 1 by fx is 0. Clear? Next is if limit extending to a mod fx should be equal to should be equal to mod of limit extending to a fx. Clear? Next one is limit extending to a log of fx is equal to log limit extending to a fx, right? Provided limit extending to a fx greater than 0. Clear? Which is called sum rule. Next is if fx is smaller than equal to gx for all x, then limit extending to a fx should be smaller than equal to limit extending to a gx. Clear? Next, limit extending to a fx to the power gx can be written as limit extending to a fx to the power limit extending to a gx. Clear? Next, limit extending to a f of gx can be written as equal to f of limit extending to a gx, which is equal to f of m, provided f is continuous at limit extending to a gx equal to m. Now let's discuss one of the important theorem, which is called sandwich theorem. If gx is lying between fx and hx for all x belongs to alpha to beta minus a, and limit of extending to a fx is equal to limit of extending to a hx is equal to L, then limit extending to a gx is equal to L, right? Where a belongs to alpha to beta. You have to remember this. Okay, let's move to the next part, uh, which is in the important results on limits. So some important results on the limits are given below. First is algebraic limits. So you have to remember this formula. as limit extending to a x to the power n minus a to the power n upon x minus a is equal to n a to the power n minus 1, where n belongs to q, which is n belongs to rational, where a is greater than 0. Second is limit extending to infinity 1 upon x to the power n is equal to 0, n belongs to n. Next, if m n are positive integers and a naught b naught are non-zero real numbers, then limit extending to 0 a naught x to the power m plus a1 x to the power m minus 1 till am minus 1 x plus am upon b naught x to the power n plus b1 x to the power n minus 1 till bn minus 1 x plus bn should be equal to a naught upon b naught if m is equal to n and is equal to 0 if m is less than n, right? And infinity if m is greater than n and a naught b naught greater than 0, and minus infinity if m greater than n and a naught b naught less than 0, right? So you have to remember these results. Next, next is limit x tending to 0, 1 plus x to the power n minus 1 upon x can be is equal to n. And next one is limit x tending to 0, 1 plus x to the power m minus 1 upon 1 plus x to the power n minus 1 is equal to m upon n. Clear? Next one is trigonometric limits, which is limit x tending to 0, sin x upon x is equal to 1 is equal to limit x tending to 0, x upon sin x. Next one is limit x tending to 0, 10x upon x is equal to 1 is equal to limit x tending to 0, x upon 10x. Next one is limit x tending to 0, sin inverse x upon x is equal to 1 equal to limit x tending to 0, x upon sin inverse x. Next one is limit x tending to 0, tan inverse x upon x is equal to 1 and it is equal to limit x tending to 0, x upon tan inverse x. You have to remember these things. Also, limit x tending to 0, sin x in degree upon x is equal to pi upon 180, right? Limit x tending to infinity, sin x upon x is equal to limit x tending to infinity, cos x upon x should be equal to 0. Also, limit x tending to infinity, sin x or limit x tending to infinity, cos x oscillates between minus 1 to 1, right? Limit x tending to 0, sin to the power p mx upon sin to the power p nx is equal to m upon n to the power p. Also, limit x tending to 0, tan to the power p mx upon 10 to the power p nx is equal to m upon n to the power p. Next one is limit x tending to 0, 1 minus mx upon 1 minus nx is equal to m square upon n square. And limit x tending to 0, cos ax minus cos bx upon cos cx minus cos dx is equal to a square minus b square upon c square minus d square, right? Next one is limit x tending to 0, cos mx minus cos nx upon x square can be written as n square minus m square upon 2. Clear? So you have to remember these results. Next important results on limit is logarithmic limits. So it says limit x tending to 0, log base a 1 plus x upon x is equal to log base a e, where a is greater than 0 and not equal to 1. In particular, limit x tending to 0, log e 1 plus x upon x is equal to 1 because log e is 1. Log and limit x tending to 0, log c 1 minus x upon x, limit x tending to 0, log e 1 minus x upon x is equal to minus 1. Next one is exponential limits. Limit x tending to 0, a to the power x minus 1 upon x is equal to log ea, where a is greater than 0. In particular, limit x tending to 0, e to the power x minus 1 upon x is equal to 1 and limit x tending to 0, e to the power lambda x minus 1 upon x is equal to lambda. Limit x tending to infinity, a to the power x is equal to 0 when a is between 0 to 1, 1 when equal to 1, infinity when a greater than 1 and does not exist when a is less than 0. Next, fifth, 1 to the power infinity form limits. If limit x tending to a fx is equal to limit x tending to gx is equal to 0, then limit x tending to a 1 plus fx to the power 1 by gx is equal to limit x tending to a fx upon gx, right? Also, if limit x tending to a fx is equal to 1 and limit x tending to a gx is equal to infinity, then limit x tending to a fx up to the power gx is e to the power limit x tending to a fx minus 1 into gx, right? So you have to remember these results. Next important results are in general cases, limit x tending to 0, 1 plus x to the power 1 by x is e. Limit x tending to infinity, 1 plus 1 by x to the power x is equal to e. Next is limit extending to 0. 1 plus lambda x to the power 1 by x is basically e to the power lambda. And limit extending to infinity 1 plus lambda by x to the power x is equal to e to the power lambda. Next one is limit extending to 0. 1 plus ax to the power b upon x is equal to limit extending to infinity 1 plus a by x to the power bx is equal to e to the power ab. Right? We have to remember this. Next is methods to evaluate limits. So let us see how to evaluate limits. To find limit extending to a fx, we substitute x equal to a in the function. If fa is finite, then limit extending to a fx is equal to fa. And if fa leads to one of the following forms, which are 0 by 0, infinity by infinity, infinity minus infinity, 0 into infinity, 1 to the power infinity, 0 to the power 0, and infinity to the power 0, called indeterminate form, then limit extending to a fx can be evaluated by the following methods. First, factorization method. This method is particularly used when on substituting the value of x, the expression takes the form of 0 by 0. Next one is rationalization method. This method is particularly used when either the numerator or the denominator or both involved square roots, and on substituting the value of x, the expression takes the form 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity, right? Note to evaluate extending to infinity type limits. Write the given expression in the form of numerator upon denominator and divide both numerator upon denominator by highest power of x occurring in both numerator and denominator to get a meaningful form. Next one is L'Hospital rules. It says if fx and gx be two functions of x such that limit extending to a fx is equal to limit extending to a gx is equal to 0. Both are continuous at x equal to a and both are differentiable at x equal to a. If dash x and g dash x are continuous at point x equal to a, then limit extending to a fx upon gx is equal to limit extending to a f dash x upon g dash x, provided that ga not equal to 0. Above rule is also applicable if limit extending to a f x is equal to infinity and limit extending to a gx is equal to infinity. Clear? So L'Hospital rule can be applied in 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form, right? Next one is if f dash x and g dash x satisfy all the conditions embedded in the L'Hospital rule, then we can repeat the applications on this rule on f dash x upon g dash x to get limit extending to a f dash x upon g dash x is equal to limit extending to a f double dash x upon g double dash x, right? And so on. Sometimes following extensions are very useful in evaluating limits. So you have to remember these expansions. The expansor of log 1 plus x can be written as x minus x square by 2 plus x cube by 3 minus x power 4 by 4 plus x power 5 by 4 and so on, where x is between minus 1 to 1. Next is log 1 minus x can be written as minus x square by 2 minus x cube by 3 minus x power 4 by 4 minus x power 5 by 5 and so on, where x belongs to minus 1 to 1. Expansion of e to the power x is 1 plus x upon 1 factorial plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial plus x to the power 4 by 4 factorial and so on. Right. Expansion of a to the power x is 1 plus x log ea plus x square by 2 factorial log ea square, so on. Extension of sine x is x minus x cube by 3 factorial plus x power 5 by 5 factorial minus x power 7 by 7 factorial and so on. You have to remember this. And extension of cos x is 1 minus x square by 2 factorial plus x power 4 by 4 factorial minus x power 6 by 6 factorial and so on. Clear? Next, continuity. So if the graph of function has no break or gap, then it is continuous. A function which is not continuous is also called a discontinuous function. Example, x square and e to the power x are continuous, while 1 by x and greatest integer function of x are discontinuous, right? Clear? Next is a function fx is said to be continuity of a function at a point. A function fx is said to be continuous at a point x equal to a of its domain if and only if it satisfies the following condition. First, f exists where a lies in the domain of f. Second, limit extending to a fx exists, that is limit extending to a minus fx is equal to limit extending to a plus fx, right? or left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. Third, limit extending to a fx is equal to fa. Fx is said to be left continuous at x equal to a if limit extending to a minus fx is equal to fa. Right continuous at x equal to a if limit extending to a plus fx is equal to fa, right? Next is a function fx is said to be continuous in a to b if it is continuous at every point in the interval a to b. A function fx is said to be continuous in a to b if fx is continuous in a to b. Also, in addition, fx is continuous at x equal to a from right hand, and continuous at x equal to b from left hand, right? So you have to remember these things. Next is some difference product and quotient of two continuous functions are always continuous function. However, Rx is equal to fx upon gx is continuous at x equal to a only if ga not equal to 0. Every polynomial is a continuous at each point of real line. Next, every rational function is continuous at each point where denominator is different from 0, right? Next one is logarithmic functions, exponential functions, trigonometric functions, inverse circular functions, and modulus functions are continuous in their domain, right? Greatest integer function is discontinuous where x is an integer, right? We can see by the graph, right? If gx is a continuous at x equal to a and fx is continuous at x equal to continuous at ga, then f of g is continuous at x equal to a, right? Also, if fx is a continuous function defined on a to b such that fa and fb are of opposite sign, then there exists at least one value of x for which fx vanishes. That is, fa greater than 0, fb less than 0. Clear? Which implies c belongs to a to b such that fc there is at least one c belongs to, which implies there is at least one c belongs to a to b such that fc is equal to 0. Clear? You have to remember this. Next is the function fx is differentiable at a point P if and only if there exists a unique tangent at point P. In other words, fx is a differentiable at point P if the curve does not have P at corner, does not have P as a corner point, right? That is, the function is not differentiable at those points where graph of the function has holes or sharp edges, right? Let us consider the function fx is equal to mod of x minus 1. It is not differentiable at x equal to 1 since fx has sharp edge at x equal to 1, right? Clear? This is basically graph of fx describe differentiability. Next one is a function f is said to be differentiable at x equal to c if left hand and right hand derivative at c exists and are equal. Right hand derivative of fx at x equal to a denoted by f dash a plus 0 or f dash a plus is limit h tending to 0 f of a plus h minus f a upon h. Left hand derivative of fx at x equal to a denoted by f dash a minus 0 or f dash a minus is limit h tending to 0 f of a minus h minus f of a upon minus h. Thus, f is said to be differentiable at x equal to a if f dash a plus 0 is equal to f dash a minus 0, which is finite. Next, the common limit is called the derivative of fx at x equal to a denoted by f dash a, that is f dash a is equal to limit extending to a fx minus fa upon x minus a, right? Next, each polynomial, constant or exponential function is differentiable at each x belongs to R. The logarithmic, trigonometric, and inverse trigonometric functions are differentiable in their domain. The sum, the difference, product, and quotient of two differentiable functions is differentiable. Next is every differentiable function is continuous, but converse may not be true, right? Every differentiable function is a continuous, but continuous function can be differentiable or not, right? So let's move to the summary of this chapter. So in this chapter, we have studied let y equal to fx be a function of x. The value of fx tend to a definite number as x tending to a. Then the number so obtained is called the limit of fx at x equal to a, and we write it as limit extending to a fx, right? If limit extending to a fx is equal to L, limit extending to gx is equal to m, where L and m are real numbers, then limit exists, right? After that, we have seen some important results on limit. Methods to evaluate the limits, in which we have seen if the graph of function has no break or gap, then it is continuous. A function which is not continuous is called discontinuous. Example, x square and its power x are continuous, while 1 by x and 1 greatest rational function of x are discontinuous. After that, we had seen continuity of a function at a point. A function fx is said to be continuous in a to b if it is continuous at every point in the interval a to b. A function fx is said to be continuous in a to b if fx is continuous in a to b. Also, in addition, fx is continuous at x equal to a from right and continuous at x equal to b from left. The function fx is differentiable at point p if and only if there exists a unique tangent at point p. In other words, fx is differentiable at point p if and only if the curve does not have p as a corner point. That is, that function is not differentiable at those points where graph of function has holes or sharp edges. Let us consider the function fx equal to mod of x minus 1. It is not differentiable at x equal to 1 since fx has sharp edges at x equal to 1. Next, we have studied the differentiability of a function at a point, and in the last, we have discussed results on differentiability, right? Okay, thank you.